Hello all. Our today's topic is diseases of gastrointestinal tract. From the chapter Introduction to Infectious Diseases from Medical Microbiology MB331. In this, we'll study the gastrointestinal system, anatomy and physiology with its defense mechanism, as well as various diseases caused by microorganisms and the symptoms produced by them. In the anatomy and physiology, we'll see there are two main groups. One, organs within the alimentary canal and accessory digestive organs. Here in this figure, you can see initially the parts of an alimentary canal, including oral cavity, then esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small intestine, that is ileum, large intestine, rectum, and anus. While in the accessory organs category, salivary gland, then parotid glands, then you have to include teeth in that category as an accessory organ, as well as liver and gallbladder. Here, pancreas are also included in the accessory organ of the gastrointestinal tract. Upper gastrointestinal tract is consist of mouth, pharynx, esophagus and stomach. The mouth contains buccal mucosa, which contains the openings of a salivary gland, the tongue and the teeth. Behind the mouth lies the pharynx, which leads to hollow muscular tube, the esophagus. In case of a lower gastrointestinal tract, it comprises the intestine and the anus. Intestine is composed of two main parts, small intestine and large intestine. Duodenum, jejunum, ileum are parts of a small intestine, while in case of a large intestine, cecum, colon and rectum we have to consider with anus. Now I'll see defense mechanism of a gastrointestinal tract. There is a presence of a normal microbiota in the gastrointestinal tract. It is called as an indigenous intestinal flora. It stimulates host immune system to respond more quickly to pathogen. Second defense mechanism of gastrointestinal tract is related with peristalsis. It is a series of a wave-like muscle contractions that moves food to different processing stations in the digestive tract. Various secretions play important role in the defense mechanism of gastrointestinal tract. In that, mucus, hydrochloric acid, various enzymes and bile is included. Saliva also contains lysozymes, which kills variety of microorganisms which enter with food, with water in the gastrointestinal tract. Gastric mucosal barrier between the body and luminal environment play important role in the defense mechanism of a gastrointestinal tract. Various antibacterial substances, they are also secreted in the gastrointestinal tract. In that, various antibodies like IgA, IgG and IgE are included, which help in the neutralization of various microorganisms. Bile salts also not allow growth of all types of microorganisms. It is important defense mechanism. It reduces surface tension in the gastrointestinal tract, which leads to inhibiting growth of majority of pathogenic microorganisms. Now we'll see various diseases of a gastrointestinal system. Here, first infection is dental caries or tooth decay caused by Streptococcus mutans. This organism is a normal commensal of a gastrointestinal tract, but it acts as an opportunistic pathogen. And here symptom is dental plaque. Second to this is a disease caused by Streptococcus mutans Fusobacterium, various species of actinomycetes, and propionibacterium. To the disease, name given periodontal disease. As there is a degradation of a structure that supports teeth, there is a tooth loss is common symptom. Next to this is gingivitis. Gingivitis is caused by Fusobacterium nucleatum, Priotella species, and Lachnospiracy species. Bleeding of gum is common while brushing the teeth in case of a gingivitis. Gingivitis itself is nothing but an inflammation of a gingiva. Next disease is periodontitis, that is inflammation of a tooth which as well as a gingiva which supports the tooth. It is caused by variety of microorganisms as a complication. In that, Fusobacterium, actinomycetes, number of a anaerobic bacteria are included. Here, gums are inflamed and bleeds very easily. There is a formation of a pus in pocket of teeth bones and it results in loss of teeth. Next disease is acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. To this, another name given is a Vincent's disease or trench mouth. There is a growth of various species of actinomycetes as well as anaerobic fusobacteria, and this leads to this Vincent's disease where there is a pain because of which normal chewing become very difficult. Also, one major symptom during this infection is halitosis, that is foul breath or a bad breath. Next category is microbial diseases of the lower digestive system. Here, first we'll see infection by Staphylococcus aureus. To the disease, name given staphylococcal food poisoning or a staphylococcal gastroenteritis. Enteritis, that is inflammation of a gastrointestinal tract. Here symptoms are vomiting, abdominal cramps, and usually diarrhea with nausea. Next causative agent of disease salmonellosis is Salmonella typhimurium. There is fever, nausea, abdominal pain, and cramps with diarrhea in the patient. Next and important category of disease of gastrointestinal tract is typhoid and paratyphoid fever. It is also called as a enteric fever. In case of a typhoid, Salmonella typhi is causative agent. This is gram-negative rod-shaped microorganism and responsible for one severe infection of gastrointestinal tract where mortality rate is considerably high. Second to this is paratyphoid fever caused by Salmonella paratyphi A, Salmonella paratyphi B, or Salmonella paratyphi C. There is a high grade fever up to 40 degrees Celsius with continuous headache, and diarrhea appears only during the second or a third week of a disease. There is a vomiting, nausea, as well as weakness in the patient. In case of a typhoid, typical rose red colored rash appear on the body of a patient. Abdominal cramps are quite common, and delirium is one more symptom. Delirium is nothing but a confused thinking and reduced awareness. In case of a paratyphi, milder symptoms of typhoid observed. Next disease is bacillary dysentery. It is also called as a shigellosis, and variety of a species of a shigella are causative agent of this bacillary dysentery. First one is a Shigella soni, second one Shigella dysentery, third one Shigella flexneri or Shigella boydii are causative agents of it. These are gram-negative non-motile microorganisms which are rod-shaped, because of which there are abdominal cramps in the patient with severe diarrhea. In the patient's stool, blood and mucus is present, and it is characteristic symptom of bacillary dysentery. It is painful condition, tenesmus gripping pain in the patient during diarrhea or during dysentery. Next disease is cholera caused by Vibrio cholerae. This is comma-shaped organism, gram-negative rod, and it is motile. Upon infection by the Vibrio cholerae, rice watery stool is important symptom of the disease. The level of this watery stool is too high, which leads to hypovolemic shock in the patient, and it leads to collapse and often death. There is a violent vomiting, which again reduces the loss of which again leads to loss of fluid in the body, and blood become viscous. This leads to various vital organ failure. There is a tenesmus, that is gripping pain in the patient. One more species of a Vibrio parahemolyticus, causes disease of a gastrointestinal tract, name given to the disease Vibrio parahemolyticus gastroenteritis. This causes abdominal pain, vomiting, a burning sensation in the stomach, as well as watery stool. Next infection is by Escherichia coli. Name of disease Escherichia coli gastroenteritis. Here, symptoms vary depending on strain, but diarrhea is common. If symptoms are like bacillary dysentery, at that time in the stool, blood and mucus is present. But if symptoms are like rice watery diarrhea, like cholera, at that time the toxin produced by that particular strain of Escherichia coli are like Vibrio cholerae. One more organism, that is Campylobacter jejuni, which causes Campylobacter gastroenteritis, is responsible for presence of a blood and mucus in the stool. There is fever, abdominal cramping, as well as a diarrhea in the patient. Next causative agent is Bacillus cereus. This causes Bacillus cereus gastroenteritis. There is a diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting like other gastrointestinal tract infections. Some species of Pseudomonas, they also causes disease of gastrointestinal tract called as a infantile diarrhea. Majority of times, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which is gram-negative rod-shaped organism, is causative agent of it. As this organism is pigment producing, color of stool is yellowish or bluish green. There is a frequent passage of a stool with pain. Next organism is Yersinia enterocolitica. This causes Yersinia gastroenteritis or a yersiniosis. There is a diarrhea, fever, as well as a abdominal pain with headache, and these symptoms are like other gastrointestinal tract infections. Next causative agent is Helicobacter pylori. Now, this one causes Helicobacter pylori peptic disease syndrome, where symptoms are like acidity, which leads to inflammation and ulceration of the gastrointestinal tract. Again, it is highly painful condition. Next causative agent is Clostridium perfringens. This is again gram-negative rod-shaped microorganism, and this one causes Clostridium perfringens gastroenteritis. There is a abdominal pain, diarrhea, as well as a vomiting in the patient. This is all about bacterial diseases. Now we'll see viral diseases of the digestive system. Here, first disease is mumps, that is infection of parotid glands, and causative agent is mumps virus. There is a painful swelling of one or both parotid glands where there is a fever as well as a pain. In case of a male, one can see sterility also. Next disease is cytomegalovirus inclusion disease or a CMV disease of a gastrointestinal tract. Cytomegaloviruses are causative agent of it. There is a skin rash, life-threatening pneumonia, unlike other gastrointestinal infections, which affects eyesight also. It is leading infection in case of a AIDS patient. One very important category of a viruses which causes gastrointestinal tract infection mainly in children, mainly in infants, is rotaviral diarrhea. Rotavirus of the Norwalk agent is causative agent of it. Initially, there is a low grade fever, diarrhea, vomiting, and nausea in the patient with abdominal cramps. Stool is greenish yellow or white. No blood or mucus in the patient feces, and it mostly occur in the children. Next disease and very important category is infectious hepatitis called as a hepatitis A, caused by hepatitis A virus, that is HAV. This causes headache and chronic liver disease. There is a loss of appetite, that is anorexia, malaise, nausea, and diarrhea. Fever and chills are also common. As there is a bilirubin accumulation, one can see symptoms of a jaundice in the patient. Next to this is again hepatitis virus, but hepatitis E virus. To the disease name given either hepatitis E or NANB, that is non hepatitis A virus or a not hepatitis B virus, NANB hepatitis. This resembles like HIV. It does not cause chronic liver disease, but mortality rate is quite high in case of a pregnant woman by hepatitis E virus. Next category is of a fungal infections of a digestive system. And the first disease is ergotism or a ergot poisoning. Name of causative agent is Claviceps purpura. This fungus produces one toxin called as a mycotoxin. This toxin can resist blood flow in the extremities, and because of which it results in the gangrene. Means amputation is required when gangrene occur of the extremities of a body. It also causes hallucinogenic symptoms producing bizarre behavior. Similar to this, one more pathogen, fungal pathogen, which is mycotoxin producing, is Aspergillus flavus. This produces disease aflatoxin poisoning. It is highly toxic, cause serious damage to the liver when feed is contaminated. This is not only disease of a human being but of animals also. Next category is protozoal diseases of a digestive system, and here the main and important protozoa Entamoeba histolytica is causative agent of amoebic dysentery. To the disease name given amoebiosis. As blood and mucus is present in the feces, it is called as a amoebic dysentery. Mortality rate is quite high as there is a formation of abscesses in the gastrointestinal tract at the same time in the liver, which is called as a extra gastrointestinal amoebic infestation. Frequent passage of a stool, tenesmus, gripping pain are some other symptoms in case of amoebic dysentery. Next protozoa is Giardia lamblia. This is flagellated protozoa and name of disease is giardiasis. There is a prolonged diarrhea in the patient with malaise, nausea. there is a continuous gas production. This, this is called as a flatulence. Now it leads to weakness as there is a malabsorption of a whatever food which is present in the gastrointestinal tract. This leads to weight loss as well as abdominal cramps. Next disease is cryptosporidiosis caused by Cryptosporidium parvum. This causes intestinal distress of a short duration. There is a problem in the immune deficient individuals which suffer from life-threatening diarrhea. Mainly HIV patient, they suffer from such a type of a conditions by cryptosporidiosis. Last category is helminthic diseases of digestive system. Here, the first disease is hookworm infestation and causative agent is Necator americanus. Because of this infection, there is a diarrhea, abdominal pain like other gastrointestinal tract infections, but with that, there is a cough, itchy rash, wheezing, and loss of appetite. Next to this is second helminth, that is Trichuris trichiura. This causes trichuriasis. Here there is a abdominal pain, anemia, diarrhea which may contain blood in the patient's stool. One very important category of helminth, that is Ascaris lumbricoides, also we have to consider here. This causes ascariasis. Again there is a diarrhea, bloody stool, abdominal pain, but with that there is a shortness of breath as well as a cough, weight loss and fatigue in the patient. Next helminth is Echinococcus granulosus. This causes infection of a gastrointestinal tract which is called as a cystic echinococcosis or a hydatid disease. There is a gastrointestinal distress as well as a weight loss because of this infection. There is a severe anaphylaxis or a death if cyst of this Echinococcus granulosus burst, which may enter in the meningeal region in the brain, and here it is a life-threatening type of a condition. Next disease is Enterobius vermicularis. Name of disease Enterobiasis or a pinworm infestation. When this Enterobius vermicularis lay their eggs in the anus portion of gastrointestinal tract, there is a continuous itching, abdominal pain, insomnia, irritation of a female genital tract are common symptoms. Next category is of a tapeworm category, and tapeworm infestation or a tiniasis, name given to the disease. Tinea solium, Tinea saginata, Tinea asiatica and Diphyllobothrium latum are some causative agents of tiniasis. There is a asymptomatic or a mild gastrointestinal distress. Cyst is present in muscles, eyes or in brain. This is called as a cysticercosis. When the cyst burst, at that time it causes headache, seizures or even death of the patient. So in the summary, the gastrointestinal tract is the tract from the mouth to the anus, which includes all the organs of the digestive system in humans and other animals. Food is taken in through the mouth and is digested to extract nutrients and absorb energy, and expelled in the remaining waste as feces. There are various infections of a gastrointestinal tract caused by bacteria, viruses, fungi, as well as a protozoa. In the bacterial category, E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, Campylobacter, Clostridium, Vibrio, they are included. While in the virus category, important one is a Norwalk agent, rotaviruses causing rotaviral diarrhea in the patient, as well as various types of hepatitis viruses, in that hepatitis A as well as hepatitis E you have to consider first. Various parasites like Giardia, Entamoeba, Ascaris, they also causes gastrointestinal tract infection, and uh, their nuisance value is increasing day by day because of a pollution. Most of the time, infections of the intestine results in diarrhea or dysentery, as well as there is a nausea, vomiting, and abdominal cramping in the patient. This is all about various diseases of a gastrointestinal tract. Thank you. Thank you very much.